I haven't felt my best. I lost my sense of purpose, and I couldn't get myself to do the things I love that usually make me feel better. I honestly still don't feel like myself entirely, and I think it comes from worrying too much, doing too much, and not doing enough activities and hobbies to recover from burnout. I love creating, I love nature, I love running, and somehow, those were the first things I stopped doing when I started to feel sad and overwhelmed. Walking first thing in the morning with Xian, Kili, and Baru usually helps me to start the day motivated. Kili is always the first one waiting at the door, even though she knows she has to wait every day because we're still getting ready. Baru knows that, so she stays comfortable until we actually walk out. See? Well, maybe she also knows she gets cuddles before we go out, and that's why she gets up early. I'm finding joy in these walks. This weekend, I decided to slow down a little and fill my morning with quiet moments. If you look at my professional life, you'll think I have it all together because I'm clear on my deadlines and I managed to finish my to-do list. My chores are still somewhat managed and I get food on the table and clean clothes. But on the inside, my mind was kind of a mess. I dreaded weekends because I knew ahead of time that Monday will still come. And this type of self-sabotage doesn't make any sense to me. But it made it hard to enjoy the day, knowing that meetings, messages, and my busy calendar were waiting for me to come back. My stress got to a point where it started to impact my health. I noticed I was getting colds frequently and my stomach wasn't feeling right. And it got to a point where I had to see a doctor. I got treatment, but it's triggered when I'm upset, so it comes and goes depending on my stress levels. That's why I made it a priority to work out regularly. It helps with both my stomach and my anxiety. I wish I were more like Killy. I always tell people she's the happiest dog alive. She enjoys sunbathing, bathing, getting scratched, playing, just living. I don't know how other people film video without making a mess. So far, I'm struggling to do things with one hand while filming with the other. But I like this point of view. Maybe I should use the tripod more. Today I was craving eggs, so I decided to prepare some kind of shakshuka. I didn't have all the ingredients, but I managed. I added tomatoes, peppers, onion, and garlic. I usually cut the tomatoes in half. That way, it's easier to peel them, and I don't have another dish to clean. I use some olive oil, vegetables, salt, cumin, and paprika. Xian's Mexican, and she makes some delicious huevos rancheros. I think it means ranch-style eggs. I don't know, Leave me a comment on what name you use for Mexican eggs. I wanted to eat them with my homemade bread, but I was really hungry and I couldn't wait 2 hours for it to bake. I'll make bread for tomorrow's breakfast, or maybe tonight's dinner, I don't know yet. Once the tomatoes are cooked, I mash them to make the sauce. And once the sauce is ready, you can make a little space to put the eggs. Do you know that feeling when you usually do something well, but the moment you need to show it to someone, it doesn't work? Well, that's what you're about to see. One of my sisters gifted me this coffee machine because she knows I love coffee. I love that you can make textured milk for latte art. But don't worry, you won't be seeing that in a minute, at all. She gave me the machine for my birthday in January, and after a few months, I finally learned how to create latte art. It was hard to get the milk to the right consistency. Not so foamy that you'll just have bubbles, but not so liquid that it wouldn't make a design. And then, this happened. I was craving a sweet coffee, so I added dulce de leche. This machine isn't an espresso machine, so the consistency actually helps with latte art, when I managed to make it. I'm trying to live without the pressure of everything looking perfect. I want to be genuine and not portray my life that way. Although I love the aesthetics of beautiful videos with no dishes around and a pristine house, that's not always the case. Your house isn't perfect 100% of the time, and I'm making an effort to not let my perfectionist mindset lead my decisions. So, sometimes you'll see my house isn't flawless, and that makes me vulnerable, but I'm embracing honesty and letting my ideas and personality shine. During my burnout, I unfortunately didn't take good care of my plants. At the beginning of the year, I planted tomatoes, peppers, radishes, and other vegetables. I didn't have enough energy, and the mealybugs killed almost everything. I still have one tomato fighting for its life, plus some rosemary, thyme, and other aromatics. I'm taking care of them again and hoping to plant more soon. But if there's one thing I don't enjoy at all, it's doing dishes. That's why I find this small dishwasher really helpful. The only downside is that it's too small for pans and pots. But I usually use cast irons a lot, so I can put them in the dishwasher anyway. One pleasure I discovered recently is bread baking. Oddly enough, that wasn't my pandemic hobby. What I found is that a lot of bread recipes don't work for my climate. It's tropical, at sea level, humid, and hot. I have to adjust the flour and water a lot. And it's funny because dough usually doubles in half the estimated time. This recipe is just 3 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, honey in this case, and 2 teaspoons of yeast. And of course, water. I'm still working on the right amount of water because sometimes my dough turns out too sticky. I preheat the Dutch oven for 15 minutes before adding the dough. Something I didn't know though is that wax paper and parchment paper are not the same thing. Well, you live and you learn. I used to make my bread with just flour at the bottom of the Dutch oven, but then I tried wax paper. Well, now I know that's not what I should have tried. Still, the bread turned out crunchy on the outside and soft inside. It's not picture perfect, but I'm happy with it. If you like this type of content, please subscribe and like. It helps other like-minded beautiful people like you find these videos. Thanks for watching. See ya!